Hello, everyone, and welcome to Designing for All. In today's episode, we will dive into a game-changing approach for creating classrooms where all students can thrive no matter their ability, Universal Designing for Learning, or also known as UDL. Whether you're a special education teacher, a general education teacher, or a parent looking for ways to support your child's learning, you're in the right place today. By the end of this podcast episode, you'll find a clearer picture of what UDL is and how you can start using it to make your classroom more inclusive and flexible for all learners. So, what is UDL? Let's kick things off by breaking down what Universal Design for Learning really is. UDL is about creating a learning environment that works for everyone, including students with disabilities. It's like designing a building with ramps and elevators to make it accessible for people with different needs. UDL does the same thing for education. It removes barriers and gives all students multiple ways to learn, engage, and show what they know. Instead of teaching one way and expecting all students to fit that mold, UDL encourages flexibility. This means that teachers will provide different ways to present information, allow various ways for students to express what they've learned, and keep things engaging so that students may stay motivated and invested. There are 3 key principles of UDL that I would like to go over and break down. So let's go ahead and break them down. Number 1, multiple means of representation. This is all about presenting information in different ways. You might teach the same topic using a video, an infographic, a podcast, or a hands-on activity. Why? Because some students might grasp things better through visuals, others through reading, and some might prefer listening. It's about giving students options to access the material in a way that works for them. Principle number 2, multiple means of action and expression. This principle is about giving students different ways to show what they've learned. Not all students are comfortable with writing an essay. Maybe they do better in a classroom presentation, creating a video, or building a model. The idea is that students may have choices in how they demonstrate their understanding, tapping into their strengths and interests. And principle number 3, why UDL works for students with exceptionalities. Now let's talk about why UDL is such a game changer for students with disabilities. Students with disabilities such as ADHD, dyslexia, or autism often face challenges and obstacles in a traditional classroom setting, but UDL's flexibility gives them the chance to learn in ways that works best for them. For example, a student with dyslexia might struggle with reading long paragraphs, but they can still assess the material through audio or by having text read to them out loud. A student with autism might get overwhelmed in a busy classroom, but with UDL, you can create quiet spaces or offer structured routines that help them feel more comfortable and engaged in the material. And here's the thing, UDL isn't just for students with disability. It benefits all students in the classroom that's more diverse and dynamic. Every student learns differently, and UDL makes it possible for everyone to be successful, no matter what their learning style is. Okay, so you're probably thinking, how can I start using UDL in my classroom? I'll give you a few ways. Number 1, offer choices in assignments. Give your students options. For example, let them choose whether they want to write an essay. Let them choose if they want to create a podcast or design a poster or a project. This allows them to showcase their strengths. A second option is using technology. Tools like speech-to-text, digital notes, or interactive apps can help students assess content in ways that work for them. Technology also opens up opportunities for more personalized learning. Number 3, flexible classroom spaces. Not all students need to sit in a desk all day long. Some students might need to work in a quiet corner, while others thrive in working in a group setting. Create spaces where students are able to move around and work in ways that suit them. Number 4, formative assessments. Instead of waiting until the end of a unit to assess students, check in with them regularly. Use polls, quizzes, or informal reflections to see how they're doing and adjust your teaching accordingly. Last but not least, plan for flexibility. When you're planning lessons, think about how you can present the material in different ways. Can you provide a video, a reading, and an activity? Can you offer several different ways for students to demonstrate their understanding? So, if we're being real, there are challenges to implementing UDL in the classroom. You might be working with limited resources, or maybe you're juggling a ton of different needs in your classroom. It can feel like a lot to take in, but don't worry. You don't have to do everything all at once. Start small. Choose one principle to focus on and slowly build it into your teaching. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to do that at all. Just make small tweaks to your lessons. And if you don't have the resources that you need, try collaborating with colleagues or tapping into free tools online with the support UDL practices. Thank you for joining me today on Designing for All. I hope you're leaving with some fresh ideas on how to make your classroom more inclusive and more student-centered. Stay tuned for more tips and insights.